All right, it's recording. You can start whenever.
Hi, welcome back to the Overanalyzer, where we watch movies.
And not talk about my love life.
Exactly. Today we're going to be talking about the Batman. And like always, your hosts are me, Roger.
Me, Asal.
Me, Jose.
And this week's episode is brought to you by our own willpower. When we put our mind to it, we can do things. All right, so what are you guys' first thoughts on the Batman?
The only reason we're doing this podcast is because of that movie.
Obviously. We don't
I
do
think the
podcasts
main
now.
thing that I liked about it was the atmosphere, like the vibe of it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
I think I just need to rewatch it when I'm not tired and after working like a shift at work.
No,
I tell you,
you just
you
can't
do.
watch movies in theaters.
I love watching movies in theaters.
It doesn't
though.
sound like it. I've heard many things about you falling asleep, like the Mad Max one.
I've never
Yeah.
seen Mad Max.
Oh no, wait, that was someone else.
Yeah, it's because you fell asleep, man.
No, I didn't even attempt it.
But yeah, you said that I think you fell asleep during one of the It movies.
Blade Runner 2049.
And it was
That one
Blade
too.
Runner 2049, which is boring. Okay.
Listen, I will give you this. There's a lot of atmosphere in the movie. What does that mean? There's a lot of long establishing shots where you're supposed to be like, oh wow, how'd they shoot this? But realistically, you're just like, all right, cool, let something happen. Like, I love that movie and I love it for everything that it is. But I see why you fell asleep. Even if you like had a cup of coffee and like were fully alert, if you weren't falling asleep at the movie, you at least would be spacing out and be like, all right, what time is it? Let me look at my phone. Let me see if anyone's curved my DMs. You know.
Exactly.
Anyway,
That's funny. I can't even hear the sound effects.
Yeah.
Because I don't have headphones.
But the trailer came out like the year before, and I was excited for it. But then the trailers that came out like a month or two before it came out, I saw it and I was like, I'm just not hyped for it anymore, just because they had me hyped the year before, and it didn't really last until the next year. So
Yeah, the pandemic kind of messed all that stuff up, didn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I followed somewhat closely to like the production, like what was going on, how like Rob got COVID, and like they had to do some reshoots, and how he's like, yeah, I don't work out. I'm not working out for this role, but like he was just messing around. I think more than anything, I do love I've already said this word, but the atmosphere of it.
Yeah, I just said that.
Well, bro, we obviously a lot of different people are gonna like the same thing.
I think not something necessarily that I didn't like, but maybe something that I didn't feel was as good, which is fine, is I feel like Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne, or like the movie's Bruce Wayne, wasn't that good, which
Okay.
is fine if that's what they're going for. But I mean, you didn't really see him in a lot of scenes, and he was just kind of there. It seems like he's Batman all the time, so he doesn't know how to play up being Bruce Wayne. Like the past two Batman movies, they're very, how do you say it? Enthusiastic, and then when they're Batman, they're like
Charismatic.
completely different.
Yeah, they're very charismatic as Bruce Wayne.
So I think that was one of the big differences, is that he was like Batman all the time.
I like that though, because I like.
See,
Batman.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with that. I'm just saying the Batman wasn't that good.
Yeah.
The Bruce Wayne wasn't that good because he was Batman all the time.
I agree he was underdeveloped, but like you said, it was probably because it wasn't the focus of the story. So he was just, sad boy over here, like, I'm so sad. What about you, Jose? What'd you think beyond a good time to nap?
Beyond the Pine.
I was only a good time to nap, like, 2 hours in.
So you watched about like 2 hours of it.
Yeah, and then I think I woke up. When did I wake up?
Real quick, spoilers alert in case he gives away a spoiler.
When did I wake up? I think I woke up right during the interrogation scene.
Okay, the one where he's like, no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that one.
That's probably why I woke you up, because you heard it. You're like, holy shit, what the
What
fuck?
the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of spoilers, real quick tangent. Our cousin Chris, he spoiled like the last like bit of like Sonic 2 for me.
Oh wait,
So-
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
I didn't see it until it was on Hulu.
No, Sonic 2, not the first
I know.
one.
I'm just saying. I never saw the first one in theaters, so
Oh, you didn't?
no. I saw it
Huh.
on Hulu, which is okay. I feel like it's one
So-
of those like.
so it's on
cool,
Hulu?
It's on Hulu. The first one was at the time that I saw it. It was a while ago.
Okay, yeah, because I was trying to see where we could stream. I thought we had bought it, but I guess not. But yeah, no, he spoiled it, and like I mean, you could probably guess what's gonna happen if you'd played the games and stuff like that. But I was just like, damn, you really just spoiled this shit, like not giving a shit,
That one black and red one.
huh?
The at the end it shows the black and red one. Or
Dude,
what?
Knuckles.
No, that's
Knuckles
the red
is
one.
in the trailer. What he's talking about is Shadow the
Oh,
Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Was
And
that the
I'm not gonna
spoiler?
tell.
You know what's funny?
I'm not gonna tell you anything. I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
You know what's funny? The only reason, or not the only reason I know anything about like Sonic the Hedgehog is because of his brothers.
Yeah, Michael and
Because they
Jonathan,
played those
yeah.
games.
They were fun. Even like the really shitty ones, I liked.
Yeah, I remember there was a game mode where you had to take care of like these
Eggs and
babies,
shit. Yeah,
these
I
eggs.
remember that.
And then they like killed one of mine off because they ran out of room and they wanted to make another one. And then I found out about that. I was like, man, what the fuck?
Dude, yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, you can have your own game mode on this. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Them. Okay, what happened to this one? Oh yeah, I killed him because I need a room. Sick, man. But yeah, all right. Do you guys want to give a pre-spoiler score?
Rating.
Yeah. See, how many Batman movies have there been? Like, let's see, Batman. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I mean, it's been a lot.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's do it out of 9. That way we can at least count like Ben Affleck's. Nah, it'd be 10 technically, so it doesn't even matter if we make a new score. We'll just do it out of 10 anyway. I think he's had like 10 appearances, either in his own movies or in like Batman vs Superman and Justice League. I'll give mine first then. Fine. I give it a good 8 out of 10. I want to say it's a good 8 out of 10. And the only reason why I wouldn't give it like a 9 or something like that is just because the pacing and the length of the movie is a bit of a problem for me.
And The Dark Knight exists.
Huh? What?
The Dark Knight exists.
What do you mean by that?
That movie is clearly a better Batman movie.
Oh, he's talking about like comparing it.
Yeah.
No, I think this one's a better Batman movie. I think The Dark Knight is a better movie.
Oh.
So
Really? Okay.
I'll give my
Okay.
score. I would say a 9.
I see what you're saying. Sorry. I see what you're saying.
Say, I don't like it, but I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, as a Batman movie is how we're rating it.
Well, I'm rating it as a movie.
Oh,
Well, we're
then-
rating the movie by itself, and
Yeah,
then you can talk about anything else
Yeah.
that might have influenced you. I'd say a 9 out of 10 because I didn't really have too high expectations. So when I watched it, it felt kind of like watching it with fresh eyes. And I don't think I'd watched any of the Batman movies surrounding that. I have a few gripes with it. The Bruce Wayne thing, which isn't a bad thing, but it's definitely like, one of the positive things is like the vibe, the atmosphere, it being an actual cesspool. I think that's
Gotham looking dirty as fuck.
I think that's the best movie to show Gotham since maybe
The show?
the Tim Burton ones.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Because it was like a gothic vibe, but at least it was a vibe and not just a random city.
Yeah.
And one of my gripes with it would probably be the Riddler.
Okay.
Just because, like, there's some good qualities to it, but like Jose's probably thinking, some people have said like, oh, he's better than what's his name, Heath Ledger's Joker, and I'm like, let's not go do that far, because the Riddler is not even like a character like that. He's kind of like a goofball.
Kind of, yeah.
But
Riddle me
for the
this,
most
Batman.
part,
Why don't you get bitches?
but for the
I mean, I like the Riddler's portrayal, at least what I saw of it.
Yeah.
well, my problem is kind of like what you said woke you up in the theaters when he was like, no, because he comes off to me, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, but he comes off to me like he's autistic, just yelling, and the way he's like, maybe, and it seems like he had no like human
like social skills or something
social
like that?
skills. Like, let's say the Joker's like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 from Dark Knight. The Paul Dano Riddler would be like a 7.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but I feel like people are maybe giving it too much credit. Like, oh, he needs to win an Oscar. I don't know. I've seen stuff like that, and that makes me feel a certain way towards that. That's why I guess I give that rating or that gripe.
Genuine question: Where have you seen that like being discussed that he needs an Oscar, the Riddler?
I guess mostly on my Explore page when they show clips of the Batman or when they have like interviews.
Okay.
I think that was mostly when the movie first came out, but let me think. Oh, another thing I didn't like was the him flying.
Oh, Batman flying? You don't
Yeah.
like that?
No,
Okay.
I don't like it.
I thought it was. I liked it for certain reasons, not because
I didn't like the method.
Okay.
Okay. Jose?
Yeah, I got nothing else to say about the Riddler.
No, I'm saying like your rating.
Oh, my rating. Let's see. Give it like a 7 out of 10. You know, it gets a C. It's for most people, it's an enjoyable. It's an enjoyable, watchable movie. You know, for the most part, it's a good experience. Now, did it run a little long? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was the last scene kind of borrowed? What isn't borrowed?
Borrowed from what?
Yeah.
Um,
Bro, let us into your thought process. You can't
Let's
expect us
see.
to read your mind.
okay. I'm just saying that the last scene was shitty.
But I'm saying you said compared to what?
Compared
Or no,
to-
copying what?
You know what? It's copying like that whole like riding off into the sunset, like, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of thing.
Sure.
And maybe it would have worked out if the movie was Logan and not, you know, a modern noir movie.
Well, I see the comparison, and I don't think it just, I don't think it would have, that kind of ending would have worked in Logan. Talking about a different movie, because the whole point of Logan was kind of like some of those westerns where it's like the time of the cowboy is over and it's time for the new guard to take place.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't think.
Well, that's why Logan ends at daybreak, more or less, right? That's
Right.
when that happens. But
I
what I'm saying is that motif would have worked in a more westerny feeling type of movie.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think that last scene was maybe a bit too much. I think it should have ended with him like on the rooftop all dirty with like looking up at the helicopter. That would have been a great ending. But I think it's because the director was like, no, but people need to see that like Catwoman still wants
to wrap it up or something. Yeah, I agree. That kind of would have been cool with
Yeah.
like an ending monologue and then him being all dirty looking up.
I think
Yeah,
it
you
would
know,
have been
coming up
better.
from like the filth of Gotham and shit like that. Yeah,
It would have been better if he watched her leave as opposed to them riding off
Yeah.
together and then picking different directions.
Yeah, that probably would have been better.
yeah. That's why it did feel a bit too.
Maybe
dragged
somebody
on.
wanted a motorcycle scene. I don't know.
Yeah, and they wanted to, they wanted to be like, yo, Catwoman still wants to give Batman the Katussi,
The Tussie.
Katussi.
Can we talk about how hot Catwoman is?
Have you seen the memes where it's like, oh, Catwoman in the Batman? It's like her walking,
Yeah.
like throwing the hips.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was funny.
Listen, all I can say about all that, Jose, is respectfully, we can talk about it off the air.
Respectfully, she fine.
Listen, you can go off on your own tangent, and I'm not going to say nothing. So go ahead.
I mean, you can shake your head one way or
Oh,
another,
absolutely.
and I will not even say which way you're shaking it.
Absolutely. Or you can just don't even comment on my reaction.
Yeah.
He said, but goddamn.
Hey, could you actually hear it? Shit.
Well, I have the headphones, so.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. We kind of gave. Wait, he gave a 7 out of 10, right?
Yeah, you gave it 7.
7 out of 10. Okay.
So quick recap. I gave 8. How much did you give?
I gave a 9.
Jose gave a 7.
7. Okay. Real quick. Don't give an explanation. We can explain it when we go into spoilers.
Sure.
But what would you rate The Dark Knight after watching this movie?
I still
Okay,
rate it-
your initial rating would probably be like 10 out of 10.
It's hard to change my rating on it because when I watched The Dark Knight, it was at such like a pivotal, like important moment.
I feel like it was also at like a special time.
Exactly, because there's a lot of things that I would have to give context on for why I love The Dark Knight so much. But short answer is, it was the first movie I actually like watched and like actually actively watched. Because every other movie before that, when I really think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I put that on, and like, oh yeah, I remember watching the movie, this and that.
You know what it makes me realize?
That was the first movie I paid attention to, is what I mean to say.
Well, what it made me realize is because of the Dark Knight and the Joker character is he's a bar and he's a high bar that people compare
Yeah.
Batman villains to. You know, they compared Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and then some people compared the Paul Dano Joker. Maybe it's because
Paul
people
Dano wasn't
wanted
Joker, but go ahead.
the Paul Dano Riddler.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because people just, like to hate that they were like, oh, it's better than Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
'Cause, there's just people that like to hate sometimes or don't like to like the popular thing.
Well, it's because
right now that we're like on villains, I would say like, what are some other villains from other hero movies that you guys think are like really good that really
Green
stand
Goblin.
out? Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Okay, from the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
From the
any.
Tobey Maguire ones.
So
from
from the
both of them.
first one,
all of them.
well,
all
hold
three
on,
that he's been in.
hold on. From the first one, we're like, yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
And then watching the third Spider-Man, it's like, yeah, it just reassures you he was that good.
Yeah, he was that dude.
He was that dude. He was what some people would say is like the Joker, Marvel version of the Joker, the Green Goblin. That's how I thought when I was a kid because I didn't know too much.
Yeah.
I thought that's just what they were going for.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you go into like all the shit he does in the comics to Peter, that guy is a menace to Peter. Holy shit.
Yeah. Honestly, Thanos in the Avengers series was, I did like that performance, but I think as far as, villains go, there was something missing, I guess, like we've been saying, Heath Ledger's Joker was, really great. I mean, damn, dude, like that performance,
Yeah.
I think it grabbed everybody when that movie came out,
Honestly, I think that performance is so good that the movie wouldn't have worked without him. I mean,
Yeah.
like I still love Nolan and everything like that, but it wouldn't have elevated it to the point that it did. Also, when you really think about it, Dark Knight isn't a Batman movie. It's just an action movie where the main guy dresses up like Batman and does Batman things.
Yeah.
Because it's an action movie is what it is.
It definitely doesn't dive into like the really like nitty gritty Batman-y stuff that
Or even
that
like
the
the
comics.
Yeah, or even like the ethical things,
Well,
about this and that, like the Joker, like the implications on like society that like you know what I mean. It doesn't get into all those like.
It does go into those.
Well, I think what it is
Just
compared to other Batman movies, it doesn't world build, and like you said, it's
yeah.
just
Okay, yeah.
Batman's in these stories, and they use Batman because the initial idea was a realistic Batman, so they're not world building. It's maybe like because they only kind of built up or teed up the Joker at the end with like a little card, and then they didn't really tee up anything that much at the end of the Dark Knight either. So like you said, it's just action movie or like an espionage or like an invasion, but
Yeah.
Batman's in it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. Like almost like a James Bond movie with more,
yeah.
Yeah,
with a little bit more plot.
because it's
Bro,
like
it's basically
if
a James Bond movie, yeah.
if James Bond wasn't a character, it would just be a spy movie.
It's James Bond without a world-ending plot, is what it is.
Yeah,
Because think about it, James Bond fights some eccentric characters too.
Yeah, but they try to end the world too.
Right, but this one's like a lower. That's why it makes it so interesting. It's like James Bond kind of setting, but it's like a more believable stakes. Like Joker's not trying to blow up the city; he's trying to win the city's soul over in like this weird ethical, philosophical way,
or trying to
and
destroy
being
the
like,
city.
people they will tear each other apart, and I'm gonna show you that, by like doing the boat shit.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to stop talking about the Dark Knight. We got to talk about the Batman.
Yes. Okay. So spoilers. I don't like the way it started. It felt a little cheesy for me. The music, and then
with
and
something
then,
in the way.
and then no. The music, because it was like da 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 when he's watching
right.
the senator or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it had the Batman.
Oh, it was
title.
Ave Maria. That's what it was playing.
No, that was after the intro little
Was it?
song, but it had like the Batman title card, like the Joker's just the big white text. So
Yeah. I did like the kind of subversion in like how like that intro, the first scene was shot, because you're like, oh, for a second I was like, are we getting the Batman Bruce Wayne origin story here? But then you see that it's the Riddler, you're like, oh no, never mind. That was pretty cool. I will say this is one thing I do hate now, is every time like a song that wasn't super popular gets used in like a very popular movie and like how popular like it becomes, it gets like overplayed to shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like this one, like Something in the Way.
But I
And-
mean, I feel like it's overplayed mostly because it's used for memes. 'Cause
Yeah.
when you hear that song, you think of Batman, along with the actual theme for the movie.
Yeah, dude, that song gets used so much in like TikToks that like in like a
But-
wide variety, like people working out, people making like cooking videos, people.
For
showing,
me,
like,
I
their
haven't
dog
seen that.
biting
I've
somebody.
seen maybe working out or maybe people memeing the movie.
Oh yeah,
One meme that I do like is when the examples like when you litter, and then it has like the Batmobile turning on sound, and oh shit.
Yeah. POV, it's 3 a.m. in Gotham. You decided to litter. Vengeance. Oh shit.
Wait, so you know what's crazy? A lot of people have talked about how much they like the Batmobile in the Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep before I even saw him use it once.
Really?
Yeah.
Jinx.
I heard the Batmobile start up, and I got some goosebumps. I like the.
Dude, I love
so what it is that
really
first
need to
noise
rewatch
is like
this
the
bitch.
afterburner or whatever, because it's kind of like when a jet turns on.
Oh yeah.
And then so he's got an engine in the back, and then the regular engine in the front. That's why he's got no back seat and barely like a one seat in the front.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it's such a car guy car
Yeah.
setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, there's all this extra like boost in the back seat,
That's
plus the sound system, you know.
That's how you know Batman's a Sigma male. He doesn't even have room for the hose.
Oh my god,
I also liked it in the beginning.
there is room
When
on
it-
his lap.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
when he does play they play the song, it shows like how much of a cesspool Gotham is and that crime's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't be everywhere. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So it's like when when it goes further into moving, it just focuses on him and not the crime around him. It's like there's probably somebody getting mugged right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially when he's just like, I have to find out what the Riddler's doing, and then someone's just like, Batman, please help, and then, someone's like, Batman ain't gonna help you for shit, dog. Then they get jumped again next week. Hey, where's Batman to help you out? Jesus, getting clowned on because
I
you're
mean,
like, Batman, help me.
But I mean, it also shows the
Daddy.
importance of what's it called, the bat signal, because it shows
Yeah.
people going like, oh, I might,
Yeah.
It's like it's a 1 in 25 chance, but I might get jumped by the Batman. Like it shows those guys off the subway. They are the ones that like, oh, I might, and they did.
Oh, did you notice that that one guy was the guy that plays Tim Drake in the Titan show?
Yeah, it makes sense now. I mean, I could see it.
Yeah,
The one
with the half paint. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else is cool? Oh, it's kind of weird, but like his narration, he writes it down in like a journal, and then he has
Yeah.
that little eye. What's it called?
The
eye
contact.
contact thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was pretty cool because that's how he just looks around instead of like jotting things down. Because that would have been dorky as hell. Batman coming out with like a little waterproof notepad, being like, "Hold on, guys, let me write down. Okay, here we go. Here's the codex and shit." It's like, nah, he just looks at shit, so it makes him look menacing because he's just like staring over, and people are like, "Yo," but in reality, he's just like, "Oh, this is scaring you? I don't give a shit."
He's just reading.
Yeah.
He's just staring at
Yeah,
you.
no, that explains his menacing stares.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, like, what's he doing? It's like, I gotta record this. It's like, oh, okay.
Bro, that's the moment too. I realized that like I never thought I could be Batman, but I knew for sure there was no way in how I could be Batman because like you know how like people will try to walk around him and he doesn't move, he just kind of looks at them and they have to walk around him. That wouldn't be me. I'd be like, oh my bad, yeah, go ahead.
I love all
Imagine
the,
how not menacing Batman would be if he was doing that. Just like, I need to figure. Oh yeah, my bad. Go ahead. I need to figure out what the Riddler's doing. And oh, I'm in your way. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, take a picture, so we can find out what he's doing. Bro, you'd be like, the fuck, this guy's gonna help us out.
Yeah.
I like his interactions with the police at the
yeah.
beginning of the crime scene. What was the second one? Well, when they get him in the police station,
Oh yeah.
and then he's like, "Yo, I got you an assaulting an officer. You got me an assaulting 3." That shit was funny, but it's funny that one officer. There's a common theme with the Batman movie that I feel like we know that Gotham cops are
Corrupt. Yeah.
dirty, corrupt, but I feel like it was playing on the idea that like, oh, the cops run the city and they run the mob. But then it's like, no, bro. Like it's like you thought before. The mob owns the cops.
Yeah.
Like how it does in the other Batman movies for the most part, like the Christopher Nolan one.
You know what's funny too is people like now that like the Batman like that there's a new Batman movie, like the argument gets brought up again, like, yo, why doesn't Batman just fund programs and this and that into the city to help lift Gotham out of out of corruption and this and that? And the very simple answer is it's that corrupt. He's one guy, and everybody else would just block this and that and be like, oh, yeah, you can have your charity, but it's only going to help this much, and we're going to tax you on the charity this much, and then whatever.
Something you brought up a good point that it's like, oh, they did try to save Gotham with the fund, but then it got taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Another thing is in the Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul is basically saying how his dad they were gonna try to use economics to like destroy the city.
Yeah.
Or like to make everybody to I don't know how do you say it, like fuck up the economics so then everyone's poor and the city will destroy itself.
Yeah.
But then Thomas Wayne like used a lot of his money and almost went bankrupt to save the city. So.
Yeah, it's funny because people will be like, "Yo, Bruce Wayne could have just been like done this and that. Like he's rich, he could have done it." It's like, bro, you didn't. My brother in Christ. Did you not watch the movie?
My brother in Christ, my brother with God. Something else that's funny that there was a video about it, but every time I watch Batman movies, I'm like, yeah, this guy has to be conservative, or else what would he do with his money?
I mean, yeah.
It's like, why don't you give it to charity? It's like, oh, I did to one. You want to see the proof?
I mean,
hold on. Imagine that Batman saving somebody and being like. And, Batman being like, "You're welcome." And the guy's like, "Yeah, but, like, systemic racism." He's like, no.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Shut the fuck up. That's not a thing. Like, what do you mean? It's not a thing. You literally fight corrupt cops. Yeah, but, like, they're not systemically racist. Bro, they only come to the hood. Yeah, but that's because you guys are the poor ones.
Look,
I was trying to break the tension.
I know.
Look. I think we all give to charity, and
I don't. I don't give to charity.
Really? Not even when we go to the strip club?
You're just kind of assuming.
No, I don't go to the
everybody
strip
does.
club. But yeah. Anyway.
Is that what you wanted?
No. I was gonna say that.
I can't wait to hear these sound effects when the podcast goes up.
That social programs, right?
Yeah.
They're just when the city's that corrupt, they're not going to do much.
Yeah, that's true.
You're absolutely right. They're going to get funneled into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like anything else that's being done in that movie, it's like, well, there's no point. That's kind of like I think another part that I enjoyed was the Jim Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good. I liked him. And I think something that you see in this movie that you don't really see too much in others, maybe the Christopher Nolan one, is like the dynamic between him and Batman.
Yeah.
I feel like that played a good part in it.
Yeah. What's also funny is that like I like someone brought it up in a Twitter thread that like it feels like he calls Batman man because he thinks that's just like his last name or something like that. So he's like, "Hey, come on, man." But it sounds like it's his buddy. Like you're telling your buddy to like let go of like the last shot at the bar. Like, because you're trying to get home. Come on, man. Let's just go home. Let's do it. Oh, also, real quick, I wanted to add one more thing about the whole corrupt Gotham, and not that it matters because comics and movies they don't have to have the same continuity, but one of the main reasons too why Gotham is so corrupt and horrible is because it's literally fucking cursed, and there's like a demon underneath the city that keeps it being as shitty as it is.
Wait, Mephisto?
Yeah, basically the devil is just like, no, Gotham's gonna be shitty.
Oh.
That and also like the Court of Owls is basically like all the rich and powerful in Gotham,
The Court of Owls is that plus what you said, the rich people, plus like somewhat the League of Shadows.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they have one guy that's like that.
That was my real quick. Sorry to keep talking about the other Batman movies, but in Batman Begins, that was my favorite part when Ra's al Ghul was just like, "Why do you think Constantinople fell? Rome and this and that." And you're like, "Yo, the League of Shadows brought all these places down. That's fucking dope."
I think it's one of those things like the Forrest Gump thing where they tie that movie into historical events.
Yeah, that's why I liked it. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh hell yeah! It sets their place in the world because then you would have that question like, how does this work? But if you give like a quick little lampshade, like, oh, that's why. Then you don't have to worry about the alligator under the bed, You never acknowledge it.
Yeah. Wait, have you guys heard that for that reason Forrest Gump is kind of racist?
How so?
Because all of those things that he did, like a black person did. Specifically, okay, so if we're talking about how when he inspired Elvis to to dance, right? That dance was originally,
well, I mean, Elvis, took a lot of blues influence from stuff. Right. So, yeah, that makes sense.
So, what you're saying is that if you're going to take credit, do it for something bad so people don't care as much?
What? I mean,
because he's saying giving Elvis Presley his dance moves compared to like tearing down societies. Where it's like, oh well, that's fine. We don't care who actually did it.
I mean, when I watch that movie, that's not what I see. Obviously, right? I watch that movie and I enjoy the the absurdity of it. Like, obviously, Elvis didn't
Get it from some, crippled kid.
From some kid with some braces on his legs. Like, obviously that didn't happen. None of, the Forrest Gump stories, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's a work of fiction, and it's trying to say something completely different than like co-opting things away from people. But
okay, so you're saying it's racist because it's saying that black people didn't do this. It was a white guy.
It was some white guy, crippled retard. See how terrible that is? See how terrible that is?
I don't think you can say that last word.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the argument becomes a little different.
Say the last
all right. Well,
word.
we can bleep that out. All right. But I'm just trying to get my point across.
Okay.
All right. Just trying to get my point across.
Okay.
But back to the Batman.
Yeah, I feel like we keep getting off topic with the
we
Batman.
really, yeah, that's how terrible that movie was.
I don't think
Why do you say it was terrible when you
it
gave
wasn't
it 7?
terrible. It's just that's how just not great it was. All right,
bro.
We can't find enough things to talk about that movie to keep this podcast rolling for the time.
I don't think that's true. So things that Batman had, his suit. You know how originally he had the little things on his arms.
Damn, you know what was cool? That knife in his chest.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have like batarangs, but he just has the one on his chest.
Yeah.
I think. So watching the movie the second time, I was like, you know what? Yeah, this movie is 3 hours. Because the first time I could sit through it and be engaged, but then the second time I was like, I know what's gonna happen, so I like analyze stuff, and it just takes a lot longer.
Yeah, bro. Next time I watch that movie, I'm gonna take an edible before.
Dude, I'm gonna take like some crack or something. I don't know.
Don't. We can bleep that out too. They did that out. Pretend we did.
What was I gonna say?
You know what's funny is the implication that like that was an inserted voice, and it's like, well, why don't you just take the time to bleep it out if you knew when it was? But go ahead.
I don't know. Basically, the Batmobile, you could see that he's like building it in the beginning. When I first saw the Batmobile, I was like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be kind of whack because it doesn't look like a Batmobile.
Yeah.
Because you know that I like the Zack Snyder one because it goes like, whoop, 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 whoop. That was like my favorite part.
I like the reason why you like that Batmobile is specifically because of the sound design.
It's always sound. Like this one, when the startup happened, like the sound design sounded really cool. And I was at Castle Park the other day. So yesterday was the 9th or the 8th? What day was it? No. Yesterday was the 8th. Right now it's the 9th. It's a Saturday. But I went to Castle Park and we went on a ride and then a generator turned on and it kind of sounded like that. I was like, woo! And I was like, is that the bell? Yeah. But basically...
Wait, is that also why you like Boba Fett ship so much? Because of those like sonic bombs?
Yeah. I don't know. Sound design really gets you. That's why I guess Marvel movies aren't that good. No, I'm just kidding. But is there really like a Marvel noise that like sounds cool? Like Thor's hammer is just boom. You can imagine it in your head, but it's not something that you go like, yeah, that shit. That shit's awesome.
It's not an iconic sound.
It's like Star Wars noises. You know Star Wars noises, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is when you actually go to a cell phone tower and then accidentally hit the cables and you're like, that's where the blaster noises come from?
Yeah, because anybody just goes to a cell phone tower.
Well, okay. No, but that's the thing is I was working construction and I was at like a cell phone tower in the desert and someone accidentally banged the thing like with like a wrench or something like that. And I was like, hold on. And I was like, and I was hitting it. I was like, yo, that's the sound from Star Wars. And they told me to shut the fuck up and get back to work. And I did.
That's what happens when you work with those types of people.
What do you mean those types of people?
Assholes.
Oh, okay. Oh, they meant like Mexicans.
Oh.
I really like the
you know what's funny is no one has the context for this. They're like, damn, the racist. La raza. There you go. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I really like the Batmobile chase with what's his name? Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
The Iceberg Lounge was cool too. We seen the Penguin in the Tim Burton one, but he was just he lived underwater or he lived under Gotham. Whereas this one he had like an actual club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was technically 3 bad guys: the Falcone, the Penguin, and then the Paul Dano.
Falcone, Penguin, Riddler. Yeah. Was there someone else?
Just 3,
No. Yeah.
I mean, I guess corruption if you want.
Society. We live in a society.
Societal corruption.
So what'd you think about that Gatorade scene? When he shot that Gatorade in his leg, or was it Mountain Dew?
Oh, you mean the Venom?
That's right. The Mountain Dew.
No, it was
you
not
mean
Venom.
the steroids?
It was probably just adrenaline.
No, it looks the color of like the the substance, it looks like Bane's venom.
I feel like that's what they want you to think, but then they can just go, no, it's just adrenaline. I don't know why it was that
That's
color.
why they wouldn't confirm it and have like an insert shot of experimental chemical codenamed venom.
I think it's funny that they got a hold of like they took a storyline or they used an aspect of like what's it called? You know, like that incel group that's like
Oh yeah,
that like weird. He's like, thank you for my 500 subscribers.
That's right.
the red pill fucking.
He got all his guys off of
Thank you guys
Reddit
for all the help.
post.
Thank you for all the bits.
Oh my god, dude.
And then they're like, oh, what caliber are we using?
It's like, oh yeah, I actually prefer this caliber. This, how we dress them? Where you can get this? Oh, it's an army snow mask. You can get it here on the army surplus, and you're like, oh.
The internet really is like
It's like that felt a little too real.
Yeah. It's funny. I've heard other people say that it was up until that movie that part that they liked the movie because like, oh, this just kind of breaks from reality because this and that. It's like, well, yeah, but
no, it doesn't.
I mean, I get it because it's like the criticism was that it felt like when in Endgame they're playing Fortnite in that one scene because then it's like too real. You're like, oh, that's kind of whatever. But I'm like, nah. The thing is like that's really like a more popular thing, and it's a more like what's it called prevalent part of society is like those live streams and stuff like that, and like these small internet communities, and that's where these kinds of people would come out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable because I think some people think that just it wouldn't happen. Like it really wouldn't. But the thing is that it's probably happening all the time.
Yeah.
There's just these small pockets of people that are
down for anything.
Yeah, are down for anything. They're plotting away.
Yeah, because it's always like the thing of like, oh, but it's on the internet, so it's not real. Like they're just saying words because they're behind a screen. It's like, yeah, some people say that because they're behind a screen. Some people are about it regardless of a screen.
Yeah.
This isn't really like comparing, but it reminds me of the time of when The Dark Knight came out, and then there was those shootings, and it kind of gave me like that vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because it was in like a what's it called? Their version of Madison Square Garden in like Gotham, which is kind of like a theater, not like a movie.
It
theater,
was
but
Gotham Square Garden.
It was Gotham Square Garden.
Was that actually what it was
It
called?
was literally called that. It was like Gotham Square Garden.
Nice.
What I think it's funny is that like, I don't know. I never knew that Gotham was like held up with like seawalls so it doesn't flood. And then we find out at the end, like, yo, what the hell? I was like, I didn't know this thing was being held up by walls, and then it just gets all flooded.
Yeah.
What city is actually like that? I know that parts of Louisiana are like that, like Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But is like Chicago?
Chicago's not. Well, I mean, technically it's on the lakefront, so maybe. But more than anything,
But there are rivers, though,
New
right?
Hampshire.
More than anything, I think it's supposed to be New York.
No.
I think it's supposed to be more New York than anything.
It's
Because Gotham
it's supposed to be scum city anywhere.
Yeah, no, but like,
no, all the worst parts of the cities in the
all
United
the worst
States,
part of any city.
all the worst
So you
parts
got
of any
LA,
city.
Skid Row.
That's why it has.
you
That's
got
why it has
fucking
the seawall,
Bronx.
because it's like the worst part of any city.
Oh man, that's the worst part of Baton Rouge. The worst part
The worst
of New
subways.
Yeah,
York.
parts of Florida.
Yeah.
The worst traffic.
Yeah, but no, I think New York is kind of like that because where New York is was actually technically like a lot of marshland because it was called New Amsterdam before the U.S. came. Like, nah, it's New York now.
Okay.
It's New York.
Are there retention walls in New York somewhere?
I
mean, I have no idea. Yeah.
There's parts
I thought
of
you were
the
there
city
for a
that were
summer.
elevated above.
I was there for
sea
2
level.
days, bro.
There was parts of the city that were elevated above seawater and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, but I know Venice specifically because that just keeps sinking.
Okay.
Like, but that's like Italy, not like L.A.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, city flooding, and it's like, oh, this isn't an overnight fix. The city's still flooded and kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
You know
like.
you know what the movie did that I saw somewhat recently was it's an animated film called Weathering with You.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's an anime film, so yeah. You're
Oh,
good.
I thought you were gonna say there's a movie that it's like not underwater, but it's like a flooded cities. What's it called? Reminiscence. Because like the cities are kind of flooded.
That's the one with Hugh Jackman in it, right?
Yeah, I saw it. It was pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
on HBO
definitely
Max.
it's definitely not like, oh, I wish I could have seen it in theaters. But you know, you borrow somebody's HBO, I think you'd be like, oh, it's okay.
Nice.
But I feel like also I wouldn't like it because we know how he is. He's got opinions about everything.
It's the thing is, we just can never get a read on like what your interests in movies and this and that is, because we think, oh, okay, if you like this and this,
No, that's why I always go like, oh, I don't think you'd like it, because then if they do like it, so surprisingly like, oh
yeah,
wow, you did.
it's
like,
just safer to assume you hate everything.
like when we saw
suggest.
Uncut Gems and he said he liked it, I was like, yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah.
Because it would have been very easy for you to be like, no, fuck that movie, because sound design was this and that, whatever. But then it just strikes like a chord with you. And you're like, no, I love this.
It had a recessed memory from.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
But and then every now and then, like we hit you with like a Blade Runner 2049, you're like, bro, that shit was boring. You know?
It was.
That's what I mean. Like it's.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that there weren't some interesting parts in that movie.
Right.
Like some things that stand out are like the scene where they go
Joy,
to the protein farm.
Oh yeah.
Or when they go to San Diego.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, that's what San Diego's gonna look like.
Damn, dude. So
People who don't know what San Diego is, that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, people don't realize San Diego exists outside of like California. Like someone from Missouri is like, San Diego, is that gonna be like a new California city?
You know what's worse is that the San Diego Chargers moved to LA, so now they're like even less known.
Yeah. So like if you at least knew sports, you'd be like, oh, San Diego.
Oh, the
where's
Chargers,
that?
right?
Yeah, Chargers. That's from like the Bay Area, right?
Right.
It's funny. It is funny how San Diego's like that. Like
It's California's not well kept but not well known secret.
yeah. Yeah, because I mean it's huge. Tons of people live there.
Yeah.
All over San Diego County.
Yeah.
So it's funny how like everyone is like on about LA and then whatever's in NorCal.
Dude, you know what's annoying is when people talk about California just in general, but they're just talking about LA.
Yeah.
And when they're talking about LA, they're talking about like anything that isn't like East LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless
people in LA are unless it's about crime.
yeah, unless it's about crime.
It's like, bro, you live on the. It's like, bro, you live in Venice. What are you talking about? Venice gets kind of bad too.
Venice does get bad too, but yeah, no, because we're all the way over here in
Don't
Riverside.
dox us. We're east of there. We're still in SoCal. You know where San Diego is.
We're
you
like
know
between
where,
San Diego and Los Angeles.
exactly. On the beach. No, further from that.
We're
In the desert?
We're in the
Not
Inland
really.
Empire.
Yeah.
All right. We're in the Inland Empire. What does that mean? It means
All of LA is just like, oh, so you live in the cow fields, and you're like, hold on.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, we're not Stockton. What the fuck?
Oh my god, dude, freaking Stockton. It's nice up there though. It just smells bad.
Yeah. Do you have family up there?
No, but I just know.
Have you been there?
I know some homies that live up there, and
So you've been up there?
I've never been up there, but they
Then
say
why are you
it smell-
talking about like you've been up
They
there?
say it smells like cow shit there.
That's also another reason why. Damn, let's talk about the Batman. We're getting off topic. Way too
All
bad.
right, I got a couple questions.
What's up?
All right.
So you guys probably already know this, but who was the Riddler's new friend?
Oh yeah, I know this. Jose doesn't because you probably didn't look into it after.
It's Barry Cohen.
Yeah. Oh, the actor. I thought you meant the
No.
character.
I was just joking.
Oh yeah, Barry
Obviously.
Keoghan.
It's Barry Cohen.
Who?
Oh, okay. that
The
makes
Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Barry Keoghan. Yeah.
Have
Did you ever watch
Yeah,
Eternals?
did you ever watch that? Or yeah, Eternals. The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Oh, American Animals. Did you ever watch that?
Fucking hard.
Shit.
I'll show you a picture.
You say American Animals?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Wait.
That's a pretty good movie. I don't know if you'd like
This
it,
man.
He looks familiar.
He said he looks familiar. He probably just forgets the movies that he's from.
though. Yeah.
Oh, he was in Dune or Dunkirk. I mean, he was the
Oh,
one.
yeah,
He was
he's
the one that died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jinx.
Was he the one that couldn't talk?
Roger.
The one that broke his neck.
The one that got knocked down.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
In the boat, in the little.
Where are we
passenger
going,
boat.
sir?
What was
To
his
war or
name?
something.
Was it like Bobby or Bob? No, that's from.
I haven't seen Dunkirk in a while.
I can't
need to
remember.
rewatch it.
Actually, I rewatched it recently, but I wasn't. I was only kind of like I put it on while I was doing chores. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically the question is who's the new friend, and I think it's safe to say that it was the Joker.
Yep.
Honestly, like I felt a little cringe. I was like, man, why do we have to have the Joker? Like, why can't we just like leave that out? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, I thought you did so well when you brought in the Riddler because we hadn't seen a Riddler in years.
Yeah.
There was a fan post that someone said that like, oh, Daniel Craig for minus the actor, Daniel Craig for Mr. Freeze in the next one. And I was like, oh, Mr. Freeze would be cool. We haven't seen
Yeah.
him since Arnold.
I would love.
I'd
Mr.
love to see
Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
And then you have Penguin too, so maybe you make an icy Gotham. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? That reminds me of Skyfall and Javier Bardem's villain in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Really good.
Oh yeah.
Really good. If we could get a villain like that in one of these Batman movies, I'd totally watch that shit and not fall asleep.
What? Okay, let's go with Javier Bardem. Who could he play in this Gotham, this Batman universe?
Let me think.
Let's see.
Let's think of the.
Maybe Black Mask? No, because Black Mask has to. No, Black Mask could be anybody. So maybe him.
No,
Maybe
I feel like that's
Victor
not the
Zsasz?
best fit. No, I feel like Victor Zsasz isn't too much of a main character. He's got to be like a top build character.
Okay.
Oh, maybe someone like Mr. Freeze. Because it's mostly the voice. It's not the look. 'Cause he's
You know
gonna
what?
be inside
Mr.
of a
Freeze
suit.
does typically have an accent because he's like from somewhere else.
Lithuania or Latvia or whatever.
Yeah, but then you can just be like, oh, he's actually from somewhere else in Europe. You know, the part that speaks Spanish.
Let's say, okay, Mr. Freeze. Anybody else? Hugo Strange.
That'd be kind of cool.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Where's some other characters?
You know what? I
Clayface.
actually think that his new friend is actually Two-Face.
No, it's Joker.
Are you sure?
The director said it.
They can always change that.
And then they showed
They
clips.
could, because the thing is that you only saw his silhouette, and even though there's a deleted scene where you very clearly see that he's a Joker,
Oh, okay.
that's not canon.
I
That's
see.
the thing. In some properties, deleted scenes aren't canon, and in some they are, because they go off of that knowledge.
Maybe some other ones. I would say like Clayface or.
That's what I said. I said Clayface.
Oh, I didn't know you said that. At this point, I think my best one would be Mr. Freeze because the rest are kind of like after that.
Yeah.
And he's not really a Two-Face. I mean, he could be a Two-Face.
Condiment King.
He's the Condiment King, Mr.
Yeah.
Polka Dot.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
yeah,
did you guys ever watch the Lego Batman movie?
no,
It's actually pretty good.
I bet it is. All right, next question. This one is: will Gordon become police commissioner?
I
I
mean-
feel like maybe in the second one because they did that in the other Batman movies.
Yeah.
Unless they plan on long hauling it, and then maybe the third one.
No.
But I think it's possible within the next two movies or one that he'd be police commissioner. I think it's going to be at the end of this movie. It's like, what other police people are left? Like all the top ones died.
it might be that he just gets promoted in between movies.
That's true. So he
Where
comes
Batman's
in
like-
commissioner.
How's Commissioner feel? Kind of strange, man. You know.
What does the commissioner think about this? And then it cuts to him. Anyway,
I think it's fucked up.
I think this is fucked up. I already asked you, but what do you think he injected himself with? And you said Venom,
Yeah.
the symbiote. So he'd be Dark Batman.
Oh yeah.
Venom Batman.
It's a different universe.
No, he'd be Nightmare Batman then, like from the Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I read something or I saw a video that they said that there was that one Batman game that I had from EA
Yeah.
from Batman Begins on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, it was-
basically Splinter Cell for beginners.
Yeah. It was fun, but they had like a character model that you could play. It was the Demon Batman or
Oh,
the Nightmare
okay.
Batman, but they had to remove it because it kept crashing the game.
Oh, nice.
I was like, it had a little bit of demon in it. That's why.
Yeah.
And then-
Do you guys want Robin to be in these Batman movies?
I don't think so.
I do. I haven't seen Robin
Oh,
in
dude.
forever.
When they were talking about Bloodhaven, I was like Dickwing. Oh, my bad. I mean
Dickwing?
Nightwing.
Nightwing, yeah.
Nightwing.
Dick.
Yeah, because his name is Dick Grayson because it's Richard Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dick.
I don't know. I would prefer that maybe they don't include a Robin and they just include what's another sidekick that isn't a Robin? Maybe a Batgirl? No, they already have a Batgirl though. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would love for an actual Robin to be done because they haven't done like a Robin since Val Kilmer and George Clooney, and objectively they didn't do it all that well. Because the reason why Robins matter to Batman's stories, because Robins are the reason why Batman starts to trust more people and break out of his loner, I have to do it on my own. And then especially with Robin being like his son figure and him having to be the the father figure, he himself grows and evolves as a character, and not being so shut off and this and that, and having to reassess how he does certain things, and part of the reason why the no killing rule is there is because he has a teenage superhero sidekick. That's why in the original comics it started to become more of a solid rule once the Robins were there, because people are like, well, he does have a kid running around with him, and it's not a great lesson to teach the kid, hey, yeah, if these guys give you trouble, kill them.
Yeah.
Something I'm low-key glad about, and this goes into the point that I was going to say, I wish in the next one they would just maybe have a Green Arrow character as a sidekick. but because he doesn't have powers, so it'd be like realistic.
Sure.
That I'm glad that they didn't cross over the CW shows and then the movies, because I feel like there was a lot of pressure at the time because of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
They were like, oh no, just use the characters you have, this and that, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that.
They kind of did with the Flash show.
But what I'm saying is I'm glad that they didn't use Grant Gustin. It's like, oh no, this is our Flash for the movies,
Yeah. They apparently people are trying to get Grant Gustin to replace Ezra Miller.
Why?
Because Ezra was arrested on Hawaii for like trying to beat the shit out of this couple that was singing karaoke and like stealing stuff from their house that they let him stay in.
Wow, what a jerk.
Yeah.
He deserved it, didn't he?
They go by they.
He's his dick.
No, for real.
Anyway, so like what I was getting to is I was asking the question: Was Alfred a bodyguard for Thomas Wayne?
I think so. It would make sense, especially because it implies that he's the one that trained Bruce.
It's like Alfred's a lot shorter, and then Thomas Wayne's a bit taller, so he's just like a short bodyguard.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions?
I guess the last question is, will like the Penguin be a villain in the next one, or will he just kind of be like a scarecrow for the next few movies? Like he's never the main villain, but he's always got like a subplot.
He's definitely got like a bigger role to play in the coming movies.
I feel what it should be is maybe he's like a subplot villain in the second one.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Falcone was in this one.
Yeah.
And then maybe he's got a bigger part to play, whether it's being the main bad guy, helping the main bad guy, or helping Batman in the third.
That would be cool to have like the more grounded-ish characters be like the secondary like antagonists, and like the more eccentric characters be the primary antagonists.
Like a Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, like Mr. Freeze is the main guy.
Like how he decided to drop the doctor and just pick up Mr.
Yeah, and then like the Penguin is why Mr. Freeze was able to like do this and that, and like he's connected to him somehow. It's like, yeah, you want my guy, Mr. Freeze? Well, maybe you're gonna have to pony up. All right, maybe I need a charitable donation from the Batman.
Just funny because he does talk that way in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, take it easy, big guy. We're just talking here.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Mr. Vengeance.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Vengeance here.
He's like, he doesn't bite.
He sounds like an Italian grandpa Italian uncle just roasting you. Okay, Mr. Vengeance over here. Yeah, I got you, kid.
It's funny that people probably don't know that that's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, no, because like that makeup like makes him look super different.
Yeah.
What's funny is I was seeing an interview about him talking about like the accents and stuff like that he has to take for movies, and that like his least favorite to do was just a general American accent, because he would prefer like if he has to like play a Southern character like or Penguin or whatever or Californian like that he can like do a certain like whatever, but if it has to be like a transatlantic accent, he's like, yeah, I hate it because it's like non-specific. If I have the specifics, I can put the work in more. Like, if you listen to him in the first Fantastic Beasts movie, every now and then some words, if you hear, sound kind of Irish. Credence, you've got to tell me where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're like, ooh, he's struggling. But then here you're like, nah, he's good. Shit. No, I think we about hit it, unless you guys got any, like, last thoughts.
So Jose thought that it wasn't that good, but why didn't you think it was that good? Is it just because you weren't paying attention?
It just ran so long that I fell asleep.
But you felt like it could have been cut down. What could have been cut out?
That last scene.
Okay.
Other than the driving away.
Other than that last scene, yeah. Honestly, I don't know, because I'd probably have to sit down and actually watch it so that I could actually tell you.
Yeah.
Same problem as last time. Anyway.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like if it was cut down, it would be a lot closer to The Dark Knight. Because The Dark Knight, the reason why it feels so streamlined, you're like going along the plot, is because you're not in there like in those moments like where he's like trying to figure out, oh, what the cipher is and what this and that is and what the sequencing order and trying to piece together like what the fingerprint's supposed to look like. This movie takes you there. It's like, oh, this is why he's the greatest detective. Into those detective moments that the Nolan movies kind of gloss over.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so long, but also like I like that because you're like, oh, that's why he's the quote unquote greatest detective.
Yeah.
Something that was also interesting is he didn't have like the usual bat tech. He didn't have batarangs. He had just one big one. he didn't have he couldn't fly with his what's it called, the bat cape,
Yeah.
his cape like a bat. He used a squirrel suit.
Yeah.
And
That
then
makes sense, though.
he didn't have a grappling gun, but he did have like 2 that came out. What, like, the what's it called, the cuff thing?
Yeah.
Those are all his like grappling things, which I thought it was still weird that he had the Batman things, because he didn't even use them in the movie that well.
I will say I can't wait to see what his suit looks like in the next movie, because the whole point of this is like it's year 2 of his Batman tenure, and like, you know, he's still figuring things out.
Yeah, I like that it being year 2. He has like a backpack with all his stuff, and then he's
Yeah.
got the eyeliner.
Homeboy in there being like, no, I gotta get the vibe. Motherfuckers gotta be.
No, see, all the Batmans have done that. You see on the Batmans with makeup, but I feel like it's more realistic. Like, no, this is how he looks.
Well, that's why I think the backpack is funny, because they put in your mind, oh, he went into a dark alley real quick, threw this shit on, and then smeared the paint on, like, I gotta look like vengeance, you know? That's why it's so funny. Him like huddled in the alley being like, I can't go out without my makeup on, otherwise they're not gonna think I'm, you know, about it.
But no, they have the eyeliner or the makeup on the eye, so then, because the mask doesn't cover the whole eye, or else you'd see the skin.
Yeah, no, but like the point is that like when he takes off like the mask, you see that he has paint on his eye, but like in other Batmans, you never see that.
Yeah, because
like, obviously they have it, but like when you take off the mask, they take off the makeup because it would look silly. But this one lets you see that he does it himself and that it exists.
Yeah.
So that's why it's funny to think like, oh, he has to rub grease on his eyes first before going out, and it's like an extra step. It's almost like, oh, he has to curl his hair or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like getting ready.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening to the Overanalyzer. As always, please like and subscribe, comment anything, please and thank you, share for sure, and we will give you exactly 1 unit of alcohol if you give us the phrase "Take it easy, vengeance." In your best offensive Italian accent.
Take it easy, vengeance, or Mr. Vengeance.
Yeah, there we are. Mr. Vengeance.
Mr. Vengeance.
Say Mr. Vengeance to any of us in an offensive Italian American accent, and we will give you exactly 1 unit of alcohol. Could be a shot, could be a keg. Probably won't be.
Probably
You
won't
never
be.
know.
I don't know where to find that.
I know where to find it.
Okay,
I'm
but don't
not
tell
gonna
me,
do
so
it.
then I can
Oh,
tell him I don't
never.
know.
I would never. All right.
What about one of those mini kegs? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
A
that's
beer
also a
can?
unit of
Sure.
that's also a unit of alcohol. 1 single beer can.
No.
Exactly, a mini keg.
That's a mini.
All
keg.
right, so this has been Roger, Acel, and Jose, and we will see you guys next time. Okay, you almost got it. You get it?
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. I can't hear what's going on, so.